The attorney for the petitioner, Solicitor General Prelogar, was given the opportunity to rebut her opponent's statements and answers.
But I also think it's contradicted by the facts on the ground, because what the evidence shows is that these guns were being purchased and used in crime. They were sold to be crime guns. There was a 1,000% increase between 2017 and 2021 in the number of these guns that were recovered as part of criminal investigations. And it makes perfect sense, because the whole reason why you would want to get your hands on one of these unserialized, untraceable firearms is if you are a prohibited person or you want to use that gun in a crime.
General Prelogar claims there is evidence, but doesn't provide any actual evidence that unfinished frames and receivers are being purchased to be used in crimes. Yes, there has been a huge increase in the number of these guns sent to the ATF for tracing, but even they do not claim all of these weapons are crime guns. Such an increase should be expected given the once growing number of manufacturers and kits.
The evidence shows that actually the market for ghost guns essentially collapsed after this rule was permitted to go into effect, which I think just underscores what was evident all along. The reason why you want a ghost gun is specifically because it's unserialized and can't be traced.
Apparently, based on Judge Prelogar's prejudice that personally manufactured firearms have no purpose other than to commit crimes, she believes that the ATF's rule was cracking down on crime. I guess the idea that law-abiding citizens with no thought or intention of committing a crime would not want to take a chance on crossing an ATF that has a reputation for vigorous and heavily armed response to perceived violations of their rules.
And more fundamentally, if there is a market for these kits for hobbyists, they can be sold to hobbyists. You just have to comply with the requirements of the Gun Control Act. Someone who is lawfully allowed to possess a firearm and wants to build it can purchase that kit if they undergo a background check. And so if there is a market for these products, they can operate under the statute.
Where in the Constitution does it say that government needs to know about all the arms held in private hands? Nowhere. In fact, by telling someone they cannot exercise their right to keep and bear arms without the government knowing about it is not only a violation of the Second Amendment, but of the Fourth and Fifth Amendments as well.
For a third reason, that means that this is a standard that is familiar in the law and familiar to industry. I think it's really notable here that we don't have the major gun manufacturers suing us about this final rule. And the reason for that is because this readily converted standard is the one that has governed their conduct ever since the Gun Control Act was enacted.
I wonder, General Prelogar, just how many major gun manufacturers were selling unfinished frame or receiver kits? Could it be that's why they didn't sue? After all, why would the major gun manufacturers want to support their competition?